Alright, here is my driving cab pulled out into the light. It's usually shoved back in a dark corner. I actually had to switch out the light bulbs down here to make it bright enough to see the thing. It started out as the pink half of a virtual on cab. It was gutted. I picked it up for 50 bucks. No monitor, no control panel. This end had the end cap on it, so I had to remove the boards that the end cap bolted to and route it out for the T-molding and patch it up, throw a paint job on it, some T-molding, and doesn't look too bad. The threw the original runner away here. You probably can't see it in the video, but this is just a ribbed black plastic runner from a hardware store, and it matches the factory stuff on the back half pretty good. My main focus was the Sega Model 2 games, so I've got the start button, the 4 view buttons, and for the midway games I put a radio button on the other side. The thing with the arrows, I actually have these buttons going to a keyboard encoder. This post is enter, exit post is escape, and these are linked to the arrow keys. So when you're playing a PC game, it makes it easier to navigate the menus. It works out pretty well. This is just a cheap Momo racing wheel. I got it for 40 bucks from Logitech when they discontinued them. Been pretty happy with it though. I actually have 2 of them. Got the Act Lab shifter. It's alright. It's a little flimsy. You can see the whole thing moves when it moves, and I've actually got screws directly into the bottom of it, and it still does that. I've got the 6-speed gates and the 4-speed, but I actually never use the 6-speed. So my next one, I'm just going to have the Sega 4-speed shifter, because with PC games I prefer using the paddle shifters anyway. The pedals are from a San Francisco Rush 3 pedal set from Hap. Nothing real fancy. They actually worked out pretty well in this cab. They centered up. There's a hole in the back, and the back of the pedals centered up with them pretty well. I'll go around back and show you that, along with the not so good stuff that I don't always show. And here's the other side of the Hap pedals. Centered is about as good as you could go. I thought about shifting them to the right, but I'd had to butcher up the cab some more, which I already have some, so I didn't want to do that. All I had to do was swap out the potentiometers, the gas and brakes run into the Momo, of course. The clutch is actually running into an old Act Labs interface box, and it also has a switch on it, so it can be digital or analog. PC is sitting in there on a tray. You can't really see it too well from here. It is on a tray, and everything's bolted down to the tray. The hard drive's bolted down. The power supply, not so much. It's just sitting in there. And the TV I didn't decase. It's just a 27-inch RCA TV. And since I didn't decase it to squeeze it in there, ended up notching out the back of the cab. But I don't feel too bad about it. I actually like the original cowling. Works pretty good for a driving cab. The Marquee had a big crack across the front of it, so it was just bonded over and painted black for now. I'd like to try my hand at bending some acrylic to make a new one myself. Speakers, they're actually got a Dell subwoofer and main amplifier under there, but I like the way the Logitech speakers looked here better. A lot of people don't like them being out in the open. I like my speakers at ear level, and I have the speaker housings for the virtual on cab that came around the TV, but they won't fit in there unless I decase the TV. And I like this. I might flip them to the outside at some point and make some kind of cowling or cover for them. I like my speakers at ear level, and I would like to have a little wider sound stage on this. There's a volume control just velcroed in there up under the edge of the under the end of the wheel, but it's pretty convenient just to reach up under there, turn it on or off, and turn the bass down on some of the games. The dashboard was made from scratch out of MDF. It's painted with Rust-Oleum truck bed liner, but that actually collects dust pretty bad and feels like sandpaper when you touch it. But if you do a clear coat over top of it, it comes out about the texture of ABS plastic, and actually looks pretty good, and it's easy to clean. The top of the dash is just a piece of thin hardboard cut out with padding and vinyl stretched over top of it to give it some thickness. It's nothing real fancy, but I'm happy with the way it turned out. Bezel is just a sheet of plexiglass that had the area for the TV masked off and everything else painted black. Like I said, it sits back in a black corner, dark corner, so you don't even really notice that it's a television in there. And my video doesn't really do it justice, but the picture quality is actually really good over the S-Video. Run most of the games at 1024 by 768. I'm surprised the TV actually would handle that, but it does, and they look a lot better at that resolution.